right, let's kick this match into gear. Got the first match of round one, the horizontal spinner and first seed of Calypso against Social Parasite. Social Parasite will want to get under with that wedge, but he's just fleeing from Calypso, who snaps one of the spikes off him, but finally in a good position. That's exactly where he wants to be. Now he'll try to move Calypso over to the hammer. It's truly a David versus Goliath situation as Social Parasite spins away. He's taking a lot more damage though, especially on that right side that's overturned. Calypso just shredding Social Parasite, who has unfortunately not really managed to do a whole lot. Hasn't really been able to get under and shove Calypso like you would like to. And right now it just seems like a matter of how much more abuse Social Parasite can take from Calypso, who is looking more and more sluggish as the match goes on. And, yep. Next up, we have the wide horizontal spinner of Harvester versus the indestructible Blackwing. It should be a much closer fight than the previous one, and Blackwing's starting off pretty much exactly how he wanted to, but Harvester is able to get a good hit in and send him away to get some distance, but Blackwing's right back on him. He's trying to tip him over. Harvester's a bit of a tough shape to topple, and the horizontal spinner is adding to that stability. Blackwing will want to angle him over to something, as when he's just in the middle of the arena, he's not really accomplishing much at all with that lifter. I don't think he's going to be able to get him up and over that high wall either, but oh! Runs straight through the hammer, takes a hit himself, and Harvester's kind of just stuck on his back here. You know, control and aggression do factor into the judge's decision should it come down to it. That's 5 for damage, 5 for aggression, 3 for control, and 2 for style. It's Harvester right now that's wanting to avoid that, but going dangerously close to the pit. Blackwing, oh no! And he just topples him right into the pit. So after Blackwing sends Harvester not only down into the pit, but also down into the last chance qualifier, we'll see if this match will go beyond the 1 minute mark. With the hammer saw of Attendant, the sole competitor in this competition with such a weapon, versus the very unstable tri-bar of Son of Terrorbite, who is not exactly scoring well in the control category, but I have a feeling it might not come down to that in this 1v1 here, as Attendant started off strong but takes a big hit from Son of Terrorbite. That wedge is, well, it's seen better days, as Attendant comes back on with a miss. Son of Terrorbite finally finding his feet here and is punishing Attendant. Attendant, he's really missing a lot of that armor now. He's trying to go just from the front. There's not a whole lot he can do, not a whole lot of angles of attack onto Son of Terrorbite, who is keeping himself in the middle of the arena, exactly where he wants to be. Attendant might try to angle him towards the pit. Oh, and there he goes. Well, there's the first big upset of the day, with the number 25th ranked Attendant throwing Son of Terrorbite, the number 8 seed, down the pit. And oh, this is a horrible start for SDB, as he already loses that flipper, or rather the wedge part of it. He's still an effective rammer, and if he's able to get under Yelini like that, might still be able to get some distance there, but Yelini now gets under SDB for its rebuttal. SDB's taken a lot of damage already, and against Yelini, well, that damage can quickly stack up as Yelini's taking advantage of this position. Has already eaten 30% of SDB's drive here. If he's not careful, he'll take some hits from the hammer as well, though. SDB's kind of propped up against the wall here. Yelini might just back off, or rather he'll take another few hits from the hammer. Doesn't really look any worse for wear, though. SDB able to get underneath Yelini again, and awkward position will send him careening into the barricade. Yelini now back on his feet. SDB gets around him and is able to get underneath and flip him over. Yelini self-rights, but SDB aggressive, trying to work in his favor, trying to minimize the time spent with that big disc angled towards him, and SDB's kind of got him up against the wall here. This is the sort of position that he wants to be in, but Yelini is able to break free for now. SDB angled against the wall. Yelini is able to get in on some hits on those wheels. SDB self-rights. Doesn't look like he's got as much power, as he did earlier. May have spoke too soon, or he was assisted by Yelini, who's moving SDB ever so closer to the pit. SDB, she's going to get around behind him. And now he pins him up against the wall, but both robots may be struggling for some traction here. Oh, but there, now he finally gets SDB where he wants him. SDB just trying to hang on here, but Yelini moving away from the pit. The undercard has the advantage so far, and we'll see if RTLX can continue that trend in this fight against the number 4 seed Ultimate Anxiety. Right now, Ultimate Anxiety kind of looking pensively, but is going to try to mount a comeback here now. Looking very tentatively at the spinner of RTLX, but now is angling him towards the pit. We've already seen one, or rather 2 horizontal spinners go the way of the pit, and might just go the way of a 3rd horizontal spinner. And already, in no time at all, our fastest elimination in only 28 seconds. The pit wasn't such a big factor in the qualifiers, but it's now been responsible for 3 of the 5 KOs we've seen thus far. Massive hit right off the start from Bogus Operandi onto Captain Safeguard. Both of them go weapon on weapon again. This time it looks like Captain Safeguard gets the better of that exchange. But another hit right after sends Captain Safeguard flying towards that arena spinner. Another big hit by Bogus Operandi, who's really come out strong here. Captain Safeguard, his durability might be in question here, but looks like he's done some damage to the blade of Bogus Operandi. He's looking a little unstable, but not quite as the perpetual spinning loop of Captain Safeguard. With the loss of his front forks there, he's having difficulties just getting onto his wheels. Oh, goodness. Oh no. That was almost tears for Bogus Operandi, but is able to hit the brakes and now come back after Captain Safeguard. And maybe to Captain Safeguard's benefit, he's been so unstable here that I think Bogus Operandi is having difficulties just getting a good hit off on him. Unfortunately, though, he's, well, not going to be scoring any points here, really, in this position, if it all comes down to the judging. But with how close these two... You've got to be fucking kidding me. Well, I'm sure they'll already be calling bogus at that last result, but now we move on to the incredibly and unnecessarily loud twin spears of our number 5 seed, Vlad the Penetrator. Did surprisingly well in qualifiers with that twin spear setup, proving quite effective against keeping away the wedges of the vertical spinners, and it looks like it's already being effective against the horizontal spinners. That's quite a low-profile robot, so Tilcom's just kind of riding on top for now. He'll try to get his tri-bar spinner back into play, but it's looking like it's kind of difficult just to get a solid connection onto Vlad the Penetrator so far. He's playing a very good defensive game and pins Tilcom against the wall. He'll try to use his ramming style, I'm sure, to direct him towards some sort of arena hazard. Just missing the hammer there, but he's going for a charge. He's kind of just pushing him. Tilcom all around the arena. This is not the position Tilcom wants to be in at all. At least he doesn't really get angled into anything, but that spinner's looking quite ineffective. Vlad the Penetrator's sort of rope-a-dope strategy is already trying to wear Tilcom out as Tilcom collides with that arena spinner for the first time in this bracket play. Vlad the Penetrator getting alongside Tilcom again. Hasn't really managed to steer him anywhere meaningful quite yet, but with the way this match has been going, I don't really think he needs to. Getting under the spinner support as well, and Tilcom's really just had no sort of recourse to Vlad the Penetrator's constant assault here. That sounded really bad. Anyways, Vlad the Penetrator trying to push back Tilcom now towards that hammer. Has elected not to use the pit quite yet. That has taken care of most competitors, it seems, so far. But he's trying to use this hammer now. Tilcom just getting away. Tilcom trying to hang on at this point in the bout. Vlad really wants to angle him under that hammer, but looks like Tilcom will avoid that for now. But with just over a minute left, will Tilcom actually be able to do anything? All signs so far are pointing to a resounding no. Tilcom's finally held under that hammer. The first hit that Vlad the Penetrator takes this fight really is, in essence, self-inflicted. He sustains even more damage, and, you know, maybe at this point Vlad the Penetrator is cocky and doesn't really care at all. Vlad the Penetrator continuing to shove Tilcom back. And we might actually come down to a judge's decision, surprisingly. I mean, Vlad the Penetrator not the most offensive robot, and Tilcom is, well, right now been completely de-weaponed. I'd imagine we'll just see a pin for the next 30 seconds here until Vlad the Penetrator just takes the first judge's decision here. Oh, okay, or he can just pin him to death. Then we have a couple of late entries into the competition. Max Power, living up to his namesake, and Heartbreaker. Max Power is full throttle right out of the starting gate, slamming Heartbreaker all around the arena, already trying to angle him over to the pit, but Max Power got to be careful not to skid out. We'll try to flip Heartbreaker over to some early heartbreak here. He's just teetering on the edge of the pit. Max Power trying to gently nudge him in, but for now we'll actually get away. Heartbreaker underneath Max Power, and for the first time we'll strike against Max Power with a huge hit onto that front wedge. Both machines dangerously close to the pit once more. Max Power looking to get away from the situation with that front hinged flipper. Gets underneath Heartbreaker. There's a good defensive maneuver. We'll want to take advantage of Heartbreaker's place along the arena sidewall. Misses a first strike, and the second doesn't go too far at all. Heartbreaker now back underneath Max Power and will attempt to steer himself to safety. Deal some more damage to the front armor of Max Power, who once again misses Heartbreaker. Max Power pushing Heartbreaker around, does a full 360, and Heartbreaker with a quick rebuttal here, almost toppling Max Power over, dealing a heavy hit to the chassis, sending him up against the wall. Another brutal hit, sends him spinning through the air, knocks off a wheel as well. Max Power pinned up in a precarious position against the wall. Heartbreaker underneath, steering towards that pit just to deal that finishing blow. Uh-oh, he's got no... Come on, there we go. Oh, that was almost pretty sad. Heartbreaker barely hangs on, though. You hate to see a robot in a winning position that's just finish himself off in such a fashion. Lives to fight another day, though. Max Power looking more and more hurt. He's on the wheels he has remaining, with 2 wheels on his left side. He's looking more and more like a proper go-kart. Still, though, with his limited drivetrain, he manages to get underneath Heartbreaker and shove him up against the wall. The odds aren't looking too good if this goes down to a judge's decision for Max Power. He really wanted him up against that wall, but I'm afraid he might have missed his shot there. His Heartbreaker is just back in the driver's seat and pushing him over towards that arena hammer. Oh, a huge punishing 2-pronged attack between the arena hammer and Heartbreaker. Max Power tries to angle Max Power back over to the hammer, but Heartbreaker, oh no, snaps off the flipper, adds insult to injury, and slams him right into the pit. A brutal finish. Next up, we have the second seed, Anthropology 2, up against the formidable Big Jackpot. We'll see if Jackpot can get underneath him here. Unfortunately, it's a difficult design to flip over. Big Jackpot will need to angle him against an arena sidewall if he wants to try to lift him up and over. Anthropology, ooh, already rips that weapon away from Big Jackpot. I'm not sure what Big Jackpot can do in this position. He'll really need to roll boxcars on the remainder of this fight. And sounds like somebody's just landed a jet fighter on the arena. And unfortunately, Big Jackpot, well, he's seen better days, that's for sure. Anthropology just kind of picking him apart as he flails that very sad little flipper up in the air to no effect. Well, manages to scoop underneath him for a little bit, but There's not a whole lot left on Big Jackpot, unfortunately, as he would need a true miracle to be able to do anything whatsoever in the remainder of this fight. Fortunately, it's been entirely one-sided from Anthropology 2, as we may expect from the number 2 seed. Big Jackpot, of course, had a big upset potential, but unfortunately he'll have to make a grand run through the loser's bracket.
I think I can stay for another hour. I can save the gym for later.
And Hurricane 3's fight won't be for too long now, but Iglima, the first axe we've seen in this competition, with a perfect shot right into the gears of Blood in the Water. It's almost like he's being hard countered here, as Iglima just has Blood in the Water in a perfect position. Blood in the Water. What
component is that axe made of?
I don't know, actually. But it's sure heavy. Oh, Blood in the Water comes out flying, but utterly misses. Iglima is just right back in a seemingly dominant position. I mean, both these robots, Blood in the Water and Iglima, are ranked 15th and 18th respectively, so it should be a close fight. It would probably be an error to count Blood in the Water out too quickly, but right now it's just seeming like Iglima has a hard counter on Blood in the Water. Blood in the Water is just really struggling to get underneath Iglima. Oh, finally, Blood in the Water strikes back immediately, tries to go for the kill shot on Iglima, who's caught lacking here. Blood in the Water, oh, just missing the Uda here. Iglima,
he's juggling him.
Yeah, hardly coming out unscathed, but he's not out of the water yet.
Nice.
Getting chased down, slammed
water
against
that is
the wall.
full of blood.
Yeah. Blood in the Water showing some dexterity and ferocity. Misses a flip now, but a follow-up soon after. Instead of going for the hammer, looks like he's going for the high wall on Iglima. We haven't seen any Udas yet, but with a minute 30 left in this match, we could see anything really. First half or the first quarter rather, was utterly dominated by Iglima, but Blood in the Water not letting this opportunity go to waste, but is also trying to avoid this hammer. Now trying to steer Iglima into it. But Iglima just kind of tentatively avoiding action so far. Blood in the Water not allowing those forks to angle towards him, as he's going to steer over to the wall again. Iglima bouncing away though. Blood in the Water will just send him flying once more. Iglima tries to line him up again, but Blood in the Water might just have his number here, as he gets another couple powerful flips off. Iglima sent careening through the air and under the hammer. There's a bit of a panel coming off. I think that was part of the protector of Blood in the Water, although Iglima seemed to bypass it entirely. We'll see if Iglima can actually self-right from this position, or if Blood in the Water's ceaseless toppling has burnt him out. All right, this should be a fun match here. I'll try to get the names off before before the match is done, but you've got this number 7 seed.
For an Uda.
Oh yeah, it's either ending in the pit or out of the arena. We've got the number 7 seed, Miss Continent representative, one of the most impressive flippers we've seen in this competition, versus potentially the quickest robot in this competition, and we have some fast ones. The rammer lifter hybrid of 8 Wheels of Terror. Mist Continent representative gets underneath them and, well, in a precarious position already. Tries to get a good launch there, but avoiding danger for now is 8 Wheels of Terror. who I'm sure already wants to just fling that big blue machine down the pit. Right now he's gearing up for a big ram, does so, slams him up against that wall again. Not quite able to get him up and over already, but is going to take some damage from the hammer. Seemingly unfazed, just whips Mist Continent Representative right into that hammer and will gear up for another slam. Will mostly just slam himself, but Mist Continent Representative forced to self right here as he gets thrown once more into the arena hazards. Takes, a brutal slam. 8 Wheels of Terror just feeding Mist Continent Representative right into the hammer. See, tries to angle him back over again. Skidding out into that big spinner, though. You know, gives Mist Continent Representative a chance to strike back, but looks like he'll get away again for now. He looks to be having some control problems, but is able to wedge his way underneath Mist Continent Representative once again, who's looking a little bit dazed. Looks like he's trying to search for a mosquito that's buzzing near him, but he just can't seem to find it. Even with those big ol' eyes on the front of the machine, but 8 Wheels of Terror is just a dizzying machine, truly. He's gonna get underneath Mist Continent Representative once more, but will end up careening himself into the hammer again. And once more. Suppose he's quite confident in that top armor he's got there. But now he's coming at Mist Continent Representative from a better angle, who's now seems to be pinned up against that wall. He's slipping down, though. 8 Wheels of Terror recognizes it and will try to angle him back into that hammer again. But he takes a horrible hit just on the top of that flipper. Kind of helped out there by 8 Wheels of Terror as he comes back at Mist Continent Representative. 1 minute remaining. I was sure this was going to be a quick bout, but it could actually be the first one that could go to a judge's decision. 8 Wheels of Terror trying to prove me wrong with an attempted pin onto Mist Continent Representative, and now trying to make him self Uda, really angling him for that perfect flip over that arena wall, but Mist Continent Representative will get away for now, as will 8 Wheels of Terror away from that dangerous position. Oh, but now he's going for a finish. He doesn't want to chance it with the judges. 8 Wheels of Terror wants to get him down that pit. But for now, he'll just fling Mist Continent Representative across the arena. Mist looking dazed. Fortunately, 8 Wheels of Terror is going to take another hit. Comes right back at 8 Wheels of Terror, who seems to be just kind of fleeing a bit, maybe not wanting to chance these last 10 seconds, or might just try to throw him right into the pit. Now we have a match of 2 vertical spinners, starting off with some perfectly symmetrical violence. However, asymmetrically was the recovery of Hype getting right under a Scrapper.
I was about to say Hype getting railed.
Not quite, but I mean, that's maybe what we're seeing
That's
now
for
with
the after show.
Yeah, with Scrapper getting underneath Hype now. Scrapper really controlling things after that first engagement. Even trying to control Hype over to the pit. It's probably a good idea to say the less time this bout takes, the more safe these robots will feel with these 2 destructive discs. But Hype winning the wedge game and the ground game, and he is going to end up taking Scrapper down. Now we have Tommy's own Hurricane 3, based on the work of Shield. up against fan favorite Hybrid Minded. And Hurricane 3 showing why he's the 3rd seed already taken.
I can see why people love Hive Mind. It has a cool spinner design.
Yeah, it's certainly unique. Oh no, but it's the
shame it's about to get its ass kicked.
Yeah, the shape of
possibly.
The shape of its unique design is unfortunately showing its flaws now, as the first UDA almost comes out in favor of a high wall of Hurricane 3. It's been 12 fights and 12 KOs, and to be honest, I don't think this one is going to be any different. The biggest question here is how might this big bot, maybe the biggest bot we have in this tournament, how will he manage to take care of Hybrid Minded?
Yeah. Is he really the largest?
I believe so, at least in the upper bracket. I think he certainly is the largest in the upper bracket, except for maybe Anthropology too.
Okay.
Harvester is quite large as well. But, oh!
Pretty fit.
Speaking of size limit, we've got another big boy. The Hunter Raider from the blue square, looking straight out of 2015 against one of the most formidable flippers we've got in this competition, Anthracite.
It's so funny. It's so funny when giant combat robots are able to do gymnastics.
Yeah, I mean...
like a mammoth.
Yeah. Right now, Anthracite doesn't even need his flipper to flip Hunter Raider over. Yeah, Hunter Raider, I mean, oh god. I was gonna say if he gets underneath Anthracite, he'll be able to deal some real damage, but it seems that even without being able to get underneath him, he's able to deal some massive blows. Anthracite with some exposed electronics and a weakened flipper now. There's 2 minutes and 30 remaining in this fight, so they'll really either have to figure out a way to dispatch Hunter Raider quickly or take a more defensive posture. I'm not quite sure how easily he'll be able to defend himself without, any front armor to speak of. And looks like he's really struggling now. Hunter Raider taking advantage of the opportunity, well, for a moment until he, well, unfortunately kind of stubs his own toe, so to speak. Yeah, unfortunately with Hunter Raider being so unstable, that also makes it difficult for Anthracite to control him, as he kind of backs off and waits for now. Hunter Raider with a glancing blow to the innards of Anthracite. And, Anthracite is not holding up too well against the big, beefy, and spammy spinner of Hunter Raider, who now explaining his namesake through just a vile strike. And Anthracite don't think he's able to right from his position, but Hunter Raider really just taking no prisoners here. Anthracite somehow manages to get himself off the wall for a moment, and then Hunter Raider just places him right back there.
He just farted.
Yeah, that was almost interesting. I don't want to see what's happening right now. I don't like this at all. Hunter Raider is really just trying to prevent Anthracite from writing, I suppose. That's what we'll go with to explain what we're seeing right here. Now in the penultimate fight in our first round in the upper bracket, we have Vulgaris against the spinner Colin the Devourer of Worlds.
That's such an awesome name for this robot.
Yeah, but unfortunately he's now a Cyclops.
Aw.
Yeah. Bulgaris, ugh, is just absolutely ripping him apart.
That's
Oh
a shame.
God. It's 22 seconds. An absolute
Wow.
speed run. Our final match of round 1 upper bracket. 15 matches, 15 KOs. I don't think this one will be any different. We've got a dense and durable flipper of Photon Melodies, but he's going up against pretty deadly egg beater in Thought Contagion. We're off to a slow start so far. Thought Contagion must have some purchase underneath Photon Melodies, otherwise Photon Melodies should be able to win the pushing game here. Oh! But Photon Melodies loses a huge piece of armor, but immediately Photon Melodies counters back, slamming Thought Contagion into the arena spinner. Egg beater on egg beater violence. He's now being shown a world tour of the arena hazards, but Photon Melodies is not immune to that big hammer either.
Regardless of who wins this fight, eggs lose.
Yeah. Photon Melodies tossing Thought Contagion over towards the wall. Oh, back towards the other hammer now. Thought Contagion, oh, gets underneath and flips Photon Melody right on top of that hammer. And he's just keeping him pinned into the corner. Photon Melodies, a lot of exposed parts here. And Thought Contagion taking advantage of the position, sends Photon Melodies hurling across the arena. Photon Melody is almost able to get around the side there, but oh God, just being destroyed by Thought Contagion.
Oof.
There's very little armor left on Photon Melodies, at least on the sides. He's still got its flipper intact, but that only really matters if you're able to go straight on, which he does now. Now would be the chance to get underneath him and force him over the barrier. If not, just a few more hits from Thought Contagion, and I think it'll be all she wrote for Photon Melodies. As the longer this fight goes on, the more and more damage Photon Melodies will accrue. It needs a swift KO here, as these kind of glancing blows from the hammer aren't really going to do much to serve Photon Melodies at all. It's able to get Thought Contagion kind of pinned up against the wall here, but is struggling to really maneuver it into a position where it can push it up and over. Photon Melodies will toss it into the arena spinner though, but oh God. Unfortunately, this is what we all feared would happen to Photon Melodies as this fight progressive. It's really doing its best to move on and is somehow underneath Thought Contagion, but it's only a matter of time before that egg beater connects once again and deals even more damage to Photon Melodies than it's already done. And with that strike, it'll probably be the end of Photon Melodies, who's just hardly clinging to life here. Both robots locked together once more. Photon Melodies trying to use its superior pushing power, but it can only get you so far. And Thought Contagion has just utterly picked apart Photon Melodies. With just under 30 seconds remaining, it would be a miracle if Photon Melodies was able to survive, but unfortunately, there's not really any world in which it escapes from the clutches of Thought Contagion here, barring any absolute miracles. with just 5 seconds remaining. Somehow this will be the first fight to go the full 3 minutes. And I don't think it takes much elaboration to say it will go in the favor of Thought Contagion.